Right back here with you with another historical matchup on Out of the Ballpark 20. For the first time in a while, we have a world champion joining the mix. The 1981 Los Angeles Dodgers, who won the 81 series over the Yankees, are our featured team in this matchup. Tom Lasorda had a championship team that was a veteran team, was part of that pretty much the personnel that dominated for much of the 70s in the National League. They beat those Expos in the playoffs here in '81 with Steve Garvey and Ronce and Dusty Baker and Pedro Guerrero, all big parts of this team. Not a big power team. Of course, that was part of the era. But 22-year-old Mike Scioscia, they had speed. Dusty Baker hit 320. So a formidable offense. And, of course, on the mound was Fernando. Valenzuela was all the hype of baseball during this time. He pitched 192 innings and struck out 180 men. Took the league by storm, a wonderful ERA. He was supported by Jerry Rouse and Bert Hooten and Bob Welsh and Steve Howe, of course, out of the pen. So a worthy champion, the Dodgers. Definitely will be fun to watch. They are set to face in this one the 1937 Washington Senators. And the Senators at this time were obviously not a juggernaut in the American League. They didn't have a terrible year. They were 73 and 80. Some of the talent here, Buddy Meyer, Al Simmons, old Bucketfoot was still going strong at 35. Maybe not as good as he was in his early years with the A's, but pitching-wise, well past the days of Walter Johnson. Jimmy DeShong won 14 games. Wes Farrell's part of this team. Monte Weaver, Bobo Newsom might make an appearance. So not a whole lot to speak of here from the Senators. Cecil Travis led them in WAR. They will have their work cut out for them as they play the Dodgers. Best of 7 series. The first 2 will be played out at Dodger Stadium. And as we've seen in the recent matchups we've had, the underdogs have always played well. So it'll be interesting to see how the Dodgers handle the Senators. 2 teams from different eras, but the eras aren't all that different because they were low homer, low power eras that kind of leaned on pitching and some small ball. So excited to see what happens. We'll fire things up here in Game 1 from Dodger Stadium. Joe Krakakis for the Senators, facing Fernando as Venezuela. Always dynamic when he takes them out. So Game 1, right up and coming. We'll take you now to Southern California and Dodger Stadium. Top of the first inning with Fernando on the hill and Buddy Lewis with 2 outs and 2 on. So the Dodgers with a little bit of a rally going on here with 2 down. Let's see if they can come through. And ball 4 by Fernando. So he'll load the bases with 2 outs here, in some trouble. And Joe Cool up there with 2 outs. Cool line this one to left. Coming on over hard is the left fielder. Baker has it, and the bases loaded jam is wasted by the Senators. And now the Dodgers have their turn to do some rallying. Ken Landrick's up there with Ron Say on first. Nobody out. Krakakis still on the mound. This one's grounded past the first baseman. It'll go in the right. Runners will advance. And great hustle there as Stone lost the ball out there in right field, and Landrick ends up at second base. So there'll be an error on that play. And Mike Scioscia now, young Scioscia, the catcher up there with nobody out, 2 men on. Scioscia will ground it to third. Play is made at first, but with the infield back, the run will score. So the Dodgers give Fernando a lead here at 1-0. Speaking of Fernando, he's up at the dish. Fernando grounds it back to the mound. play at first. Won't be made in time. Some hesitation there for Krakakis, and Fernando gets the throw. Bases remain loaded for Dusty Baker here with 2 down. Baker in a big spot. Baker back to the mound. This will be easy. So the Senators get out of the second. Dodgers waste a bases loaded opportunity, and the game remains 1-0. Moving to the bottom of the 5th, Fernando's dealing, and the Dodgers are looking to add to their lead with Pedro Guerrero up there, runners on the corners. Guerrero lift this one to left, but it'll drop in there for a base hit. Run will score. Pedro Guerrero with an RBI single. It is now 2-0. Fernando dealing a one-hitter here in the 6th inning. Dusty Baker up with man on second and third. 2 out. And Baker lines it to left. This will score 1, probably 2. Throw to the plate is cut off, and a 2-run single here by Dusty Baker makes it 4-0 Dodgers. Moving to the 7th, where Fernando is just dealing. He's allowed 1 hit. It's the 7th inning. Joe Kuhl up at the plate. And Kuhl will lift this one deep to right, way back there. There goes the shutout. Kuhl with a long homer to right. He goes into his home run trot. The Senators are on the board 4-1. Moving to the 8th now. Steve Howe has come in as a replacement pitcher for Fernando. Cecil Travis on second. John Stone at the dish. 1 out. Stone will line this one to right. It'll get through. Here comes a runner holding up at third. So Stone with the single. Here's Al Simmons now with 2 men on. Simmons representing the tying run here. But Howe gets him. An 0-2 strikeout. And Howe comes through. We'll move now to the 9th, where the Dodgers have padded their lead, 6-1. Mel Almada is on first. Fred Sington at the plate. Steve Howe still in there. They're 2 outs. And this is grounded to short. Play is made at second. Russell makes the play. The Dodgers win. Dodgers take game 1 as expected here at Dodger Stadium behind the very, very efficient and dynamic pitching by Fernando Valenzuela. He struck out 8. Allowed only 1 earned run on the home run by Kuhl. Dusty Baker 3 for 4 with 2 ribbies as the Dodgers played their type of game, did just enough to win. Steve Howe with the save. And game 1 goes as planned. No slip-ups by the champion Dodgers. We'll move to game 2 from Dodger Stadium. Jimmy DeShong will face Bert Hooten once again in the beautiful setting of Chavez Ravine. So introduced to game 2, we have Hooten on the mound, facing Al Simmons in the top of the 2nd, no score. Simmons will ground this one to short. Play is made there, but the throw gets away, and Simmons will move in the 2nd. We have an error there by Russell, the shortstop, who threw it down to Garvey, and Garvey just couldn't scoop it. He usually does quite well with those, but not on that play. And now runners on the corners. 1 out for Joe Kuhl. Homered in game 1. Kuhl goes to short. This play is made by Russell at second. Over the first, and the Dodger infield makes up for the error. They've been together forever, and they make the double play happen there. We move to the top of the 4th. Senators again trying to get on the board here. Simmons hits this one to short. That one gets through the hole with a man on. Nobody out here, 1st and 2nd. Cecil Travis at the dish. Travis will line it just fair down the right field line. This will get a run in. Travis with an RBI double, and the Senators take the lead here in game 2. And they may not be done yet. Bases loaded. Kuhl up there. Still nobody out.
Strike 3.
Kewell looks at strike 3. He can't come through there in a big spot as Socha framed that one well. Let's see what the pitcher can do. DeShong, infield in. DeShong hits it right to short. Russell comes home. There's an out there. Play it first. No chance for the double play, but again, the Dodgers playing well here to try to hold off the Senators from having a big inning, but they got to get past Buddy Meyer. Meyer up there with 2 outs, and Meyer makes them pay. Base hit up the middle. This will get a run in. 2-out single for Meyer. It's now 2-0. Mel Almada, a chance now to extend the lead. Almada goes deep to right, but the play should be made there. Guerrero's got it. Senators up 2-0. We'll move all the way to the bottom of the 7th. Jimmy DeShong has been brilliant. He's still in the game here. Facing Pedro Guerrero. Working on a shutout. Guerrero is walked. Here's Ron Say, the Penguin. And Say will line this one to the left, but this should be playable. It is. Simmons has it. 1 out for Landrix. Guerrero with his lead off first. 2-0 here in the 7th. There goes Pedro. There's a pitch out. Throw to get him, and it's late. Even with the pitch out, Pedro Guerrero steals second. So here's Landrix with 1 out and now a man in scoring position, but Ken Landrix can't catch up to the fastball. He is strikeout victim number 6. And now Dave Stewart is coming to the game. We move to the 8th. Still 2-0. Only 3 hits for the Dodgers. Stewart now out of the pen. And he allows a base hit by Rick Farrell here in the 8th. That'll bring up Kewell. Kewell will go the other way. That's a fair ball down the left field line. Farrell's going to move to 3rd. And the Senators looking to build on their lead here. It is 2nd and 3rd with nobody out. They end up getting a run out of all that. Move to the bottom of the 8th with DeShong still on the mound. Mike Socha up there. Working on his shutout. This is to 2nd. However, on error by Meyer. Hit right to him, and Buddy Meyer could not make the play. So now, the Dodgers looking for an opening here. Bill Russell at the plate. Russell will lift this to left. Simmons coming in. He's got it. So DeShong continues to make the outs when he needs to. Here's Steve Garvey. 2 outs, 2 on. And the Senators decide to make a change here. Sid Cohen in here. And let's see how he does with Garvey. Garvey down the first. The play is made, however. And it's an unassisted play at first. Garvey retired. A big out there and a nice play by Kewell at first base. And now we move to the 9th. Buddy Lewis facing Alejandro Pena in this 3-0 game. Lewis goes the other way for a 1-out single. Here's Al Simmons. Simmons lifts it deep to left. Way back there. All the way back to the wall and gone. Al Simmons with a homer to left. It's 5-0 Senators. Here's Kewell up there as the Senators keep pouring it on. Kewell goes deep to center. This one's way back. This one's got a chance. And this one will go. The Bluebirds out at Chev Ravine as it's 7-0 now Senators. And we move to the 9th. 7-2 with 2 out. Man on second for Bill Russell. This has popped up. Easy play out there for the catcher to make. Farrell's got it. And the Senators bring out the bats here in game 2. They win it 7-2. Strong pitching effort by Jimmy DeShong. He struck out 6, went 7+ strong without allowing an earned run. Al Simmons 3 for 5 with the home run. Cecil Travis very good, 3 for 4, 2 doubles or RBI. And Washington bounces right back and gets a win at Dodger Stadium. So we'll move now east as Jerry Rouse will face Wes Farrell, and the series all even at 1 to see who will get the upper hand, as now it's become a best of 5. Time for game number 3. Moving to the second inning where Jerry Rouse is up there with Daryl Thomas on second, Mike Sosha on first. Farrell delivering with 1 out. The bunt is down. Throw to first, runners advance. Small ball here by the Dodgers. And Dusty Baker has his chance. Baker hits it to short. Play is made at first, and Baker can't come through there with runners in scoring position. We'll move to the top of the third with the Penguin up there and Pedro Guerrero on first. Say lines it to center for a hit. Guerrero on the move. He's over the third. Landrick's up there in a scoreless game. Landrick's lines it to center. See if Guerrero has enough to go. He does not. Almeida with the play. Dodgers get on the board. It's 1-0. Moving to the bottom of the third with Cecil Travis facing Jerry Rouse. Lefty delivers. This is grounded to the outfield. 2-out single and rally here by the Senators. John Stone up there with 2 outs. Stone will lift a high pop up in foul territory. Sosha chasing it. Sosha with a great play near the stands. And leaving to the Senators. Can't get one across. And Jerry Rouse has a 3-hitter working here in the bottom of the 7th with Buddy Lewis at the dish. Lewis will hit it past the shortstop for a single with nobody out. See how soon Lasorda goes to the pen here. Jerry Cool up there. And Cool looks at strike 3, so Rouse is still dealing. He has Rick Farrell now to contest with. Farrell hits it to right. Guerrero coming on and all the way out from his infield spot is Thomas. Farrell Thomas with a nice play. 2 outs now for Almeida. And Almeida strikes out. So Jerry Rouse still holding on to this 1-0 lead in impressive style. And the Dodgers looking to add here as Thomas is up there with the bases loaded. Nobody out. Huge spot here in the 8th.
Strike 3.
But Thomas swings through here as Jacob strikes him out. And the catcher Sosha up there with the bases loaded. Sosha hits it to right. Runner will tag. Here comes the throw. We got to play at the plate. And it is beaten. Guerrero uses his speed. It is now 2-0 Dodgers. Bottom of the 9th. Steve Howe on there to close it out. Stone at the plate. Stone will line it to short. Play is made there. Russell with the out. Al Simmons at the plate. Simmons hits it deep to center. This will get down. Simmons hits it all the way to the wall. So Al Simmons with a 1-out double here in the 9th. It'll bring the tying run to the plate for the Senators. Buddy Lewis facing Steve Howe here in the 9th. This is lined over to right. It'll drop. And a big rally here for the Senators. Joe Cool up there with runners on the corners. 1 out.
Strike 3.
And strike 3 by Howe. A big strikeout on a 1-2 pitch. And Rick Farrell up there. Now Farrell is representing the winning run. 2 outs. Tying run on first. Steve Howe delivers to Farrell. inside for ball 4, so the drama increases here in this crucial Game 3. Mel Almeida facing Steve Howe. Bases loaded, 2-0 game. Ball 4. Howe doesn't get the call on a 3-0 pitch, and it is 2-1. And now, fans, we are a base hit away maybe from seeing this game swing to Washington and an out away from giving the Dodgers the win. Fred Singleton is up there, the pinch hitter. It's 2-1. The delivery, this is hit to the mound. Howe's got it. He makes the play at first, and the Dodgers get out of it. Howe closes the door in dramatic style. Bases loaded, but the bouncer back to the mound. Howe, like a cat, jumped out there and made the play. And the Dodgers win this one 2-1. A very well played game, closely contested. Jerry Rouse with a very nice outing. 8 shutout innings. Wes Farrell pitched well as well, but it was Guerrero who scored both runs for the Dodgers on that sac fly, especially in the 8th. And the bases left loaded by the Senators. One I'm sure they're going to regret, because now it's 3-0 by the champ Dodgers, or actually 2-1 by the champ Dodgers in the series. And they have the advantage as Bob Welch will face Ken Chase in game number 4 as the Dodgers look to advance their advantage. Injury there for the Dodgers, but let's move to the action. Look like Ted Power will be unavailable for the rest of the series. Let's move into game number 4. We have a scoreless game, bottom of the 3rd, with Buddy Meyer up there, 1 out, and a runner on third base against Bob Welch. And Meyer singles up the middle and gives the Senators a 1-0 lead here in the 3rd. He moves to the top of the 5th with Mike Scioscia up there against Ken Chase. And Landrick's on first.
Strike 3.
Scioscia takes an inside pitch and swings at it. Misses. Strike 3. Here's Welch, the pitcher, with 2 on, 2 out. Welch trying to help his own cause, but that'll be hit to short. And Russell gets him. So we'll move to the bottom of the 5th. Now it's a 1-0 game for the Senators. 2 men on, 2 men out. Mel Almeida up there. And Almeida will dribble it to first. Play cannot be made. Ball hugged the first base line and could not be fielded fast enough by Garvey. And bases are loaded now with 2 outs. Another big shot chance for the Senators as John Stone steps to the plate with 2 out. And Stone hits it deep to center, way back there. This will be off the wall in center field. It'll score 3 runs. Stone on his way to third with a triple. Clearing the bases with a 3-run triple. John Stone off Bob Welch. It is 4-0 Senators. As we move to the 6th with a big lead now for Ken Chase and Steve Garvey at the plate. Garvey will line this one deep to the gap in left center. Garvey with a double. Moving now on to 3. He's going for triple. He's got it. Steve Garvey never hesitated. Rounded second and got into third diving and ended up not scoring, and the game moved all the way out to the bottom of the 9th. It is 6-1. Top of the 9th make that, and the Senators are 1 out away from tying this series. Russell up there with 2 men on. Russell will lift it to left. Play is made out there by Simmons, and just like that, the Senators win game number 4, 6-1 here at home. No sweat for the Senators. It was great performance by Ken Chase, who went 5 strong without allowing a run, and the rest of the bullpen for the Senators did a good job as well. Buddy Meyer was 2 for 3 with 2 runs scored, a double, an RBI, and John Stone cleared the bases with that triple in the 5th inning. That turned out to be the big blow of the game. He ended up with 4 RBIs, and we have a tie series, folks. The Senators win this one and even things up at 2-2. And the series will move now to Game 5. It's a best of 3 as the Senators try to upset the 81 Dodgers. This is a crucial game as the Senators would want to take this one before they head out west. Let's see how things play out from Griffith Stadium in game number 5. We're going to start here in the top of the first with Dusty Baker on first base. Joe Krakowskis is the pitcher. He'll be facing Fernando Valenzuela in this one, but let's see how Krakowskis does in the 1st inning. And there's a shot deep to left field. This one might have distance. It does. 2-run homer right off the bat here for Steve Garvey in the 1st inning with the man on. It is 2-0. 4-0 as we move quickly here all the way to the 9th inning. It's a 4-0 game. Steve Howe on the mound. Rick Farrell at the dish. We got the bases loaded with 2 outs. So that means Farrell is the tying run. Let's see if Howe can close the door here on this threat. Grounder to second. Play is made. Taken to the bag. Steve Sachs does it himself. And a shutout in vintage Dodger style here. 4-0 in game number 5. Fernando Valenzuela pitched 7+, did not allow a run, struck out 6. Steve Garvey with that 2-run homer we saw there in the 1st inning. Krakowskis actually pitched pretty good, not great, 4 earned runs and 5+. But the Senators only had 5 hits, and the Dodgers just sliced through their order with some outstanding pitching led by the Mexican sensation, Valenzuela. And that gives the Dodgers the edge they're looking for as they move to Dodger Stadium for game number 6 and 7. Game 6 will have Jimmy DeShong, who pitched very well in his win in Game 2 against Bert Hooten, as the Senators try to stay alive on the road now in Game 6. So Jimmy DeShong takes the mound here in the bottom of the 3rd in game number 6. Mike Scioscia's on first base. The delivery to Bill Russell. Russell hits it down the left field line. That's a fair ball. And runners on 2nd and 3rd here with nobody out to start the 3rd inning for the Dodgers. Steve Baker up at the dish. Haven't heard much from him this series, but Baker lifts this one, a blooper that is going to be caught. Meyer with a nice play heading into the outfield, so 2 outs here, and Steve Garvey trying to look for a 2-out hit. Garvey laces it down the line. That's a fair ball. So Steve Garvey with a shot to left, which will drive in 2, and Dodger Stadium on its feet as they go up 2-0 here. Thanks to Steve Garvey, and Pedro Guerrero will now follow Garvey here with a single to center, and Garvey is going to round 3rd. He's coming home, and he is safe as Guerrero takes 2nd on the throw, and it is 3-0 Dodgers. 4-0 now as they're looking to wrap up this series and really do some damage here as we move to the bottom of the 5th with Kent Landricks up there and the bases loaded with only 1 out. One pitch by DeShong. This one's hit up the middle, past the driven in infield, and this will get another 2 home. The Dodgers now up 6-0 here. It is all going their way as we move now to the bottom of the 7th. The Penguin up there against now Red Anderson with only 1 out. And Say goes the other way, way back to right. Ron Say the other way for a home run. A rarity for Say to go the other way, but he does. And now the Dodgers extend to 7-0. Hooten has just been awesome today, and he looks at the situation here in the 8th with a 7-run lead. He's facing Joe Cool. This is lined the other way. This will go up against the wall in left center. Cool will have a triple, it looks like. He will. Seven to 1 as we move now to the top of the 8th here for Mel Almeida with 2 on and nobody out. And there's a ball, so Almeida will head over the first. The bases will be loaded here. Another nice threat for the visitors as they try to make a comeback here. Bases loaded, nobody out. Dave Goltz on the hill. And this is driven to center. Coming in hard, but making the play at short is Russell. He called for it. That's an easy play, and there is 1 out now for Buddy Lewis. Lewis hits this one past the mound. This will be a tough play. Throw it home. And they get the force at home. Double play can't be turned, so a nice play by the pitcher there. And now a pitching change as Alejandro Pena will try to wrap things up here in the 9th. Joe Cool up there with 2 outs, nobody on. Pena's delivery, hopefully to end the series, is there. He strikes him out. Ball game, series over. The Dodgers come back home here and win this game 8-1. Pena shutting the door after a very nice start by Bert Hooten. Hooten went 7, allowed only 1 run. Ron Say with the home run and 2 RBIs. And Steve Garvey had 3 RBIs in this one. He was 1 for 4. He had that big extra base hit. But it was Hooten who pitched well in this one, beating the Senators and ending this series in 6. The Dodgers split the first 2. They took 2 out of 3 at Griffith Stadium and then wrapped it up with that 8-1 win in Game 6. Top performers here, you can see Pedro Guerrero hit 409, but it was Steve Garvey who drove in 6. Only 2 home runs in the series for the Dodgers. Not much power, but again, we said that at the outset that these teams aren't built on the long ball. Fernando was worth all the hype and the price of admission. He struck out 14 in 15 innings. He won both the starts. His start, especially in Game 5 when it was a tie series, really was the difference to put the Dodgers on their way. As for the Senators, you can see here Joe Cool did have 2 home runs and batted .348. But not all that much else going on offense. Their pitching was adequate, but did not put him over the top. Game says Pedro Guerrero is the MVP, who hit 409, but I'm going to go with Fernando, who pitched great in both his outings. The 20-year-old, just outstanding. You see both his outings here. 15 innings of work, 14 Ks, .67 whip, and 15 innings of work in both those games were important, especially the Game 5 performance. So that being said, the champion Dodgers take it in 6 games. They beat the 1937 Washington Senators, and no surprises as the favorite takes this series. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you continue to visit us for these historical matchups as we continue to put them up on the channel for you. But this one's history. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you soon.